Hello people from YouTube, how are you? I hope you are doing really good today. My name is PabloRamos and thank you for joining me for another video here in my channel PabloRamos Art. And today I want to show you how to go from this to this, okay? As you can see, I already have here an image, a picture that I'm going to duplicate, and after that I'm going to use this smoothing tool in order to create this this effect when the water is running down over the glass of the window, okay? But first, I think this is not truly believable because we first have to go and have kind of a Gaussian blur, okay, on our background, and so we can appreciate like it is more on the distance, okay? So here I'm going to undo all of this, and over my layer I'm going to select adjustments and Gaussian blur, and I'm going to apply not that much, maybe what could be 5.7% of Gaussian blur. And now I'm going to start working with my with this tool in order to create these things I was telling you previously. Okay, the thing is how to create this effect of water drops on a glass, okay? How to illustrate them. I really recommend you use a picture, a reference picture, so you can pay attention to the details, because the better you want this illustration to get, the more details you have to include on it, okay? But anyway, I'm just trying to show you how I do it. It's not that I have been doing a lot of illustrations like this, but I more or less understand the process, okay? So the first thing is this, using my smudging tool. What I'm using, the brush I'm using in all of my tools, the brush, the eraser, and the smudging tool, is the soft airbrush, okay? I use it in most of my illustrations. It doesn't matter if it is for sketching or painting skin or whatever. I mostly use that one. Okay, so now I'm going to add another layer, and I'm going to choose a pure black color, and in the 6-7% I'm going to draw a shape, a rounded shape. I mean, it doesn't have to be a circle, a perfect circle or anything, but it has to be rounded, okay? Because remember, we are working with water drops, and because of the tension water has by itself, it tends to give this round, this rounded form, this rounded shape, okay? So I think I'm going to change a little bit the position of this. And please, when you're doing this, don't try to duplicate the layer and go moving from one side to the other until you complete all of the drops, because it's gonna look kind of unreal. I mean, depending on the strength where the drop is hitting against the window, and depending on the direction of the wind, and many different things, the droplets, they are going to take different shapes, So if you keep the same shape, it doesn't matter if you have there some bigger ones and some smaller ones. Anyway, it doesn't look like very good. So I really recommend you drawing them one by one. Another thing that we have to consider is reflection. Okay, these are water drops, and because of the reflection, what you have on the top of the picture, it's gonna appear on the lower part of the water drop. Okay, and what you have on the lower part of the picture is gonna appear on the upper part of the water drop. Okay, we don't have to add that many details. I mean, we don't have to redraw again the complete picture inside every water drop, but what we can do is to change the position of the colors. Okay, remember what you have in the lower part. I mean, it's just as easy as taking it and turning them upside down, and that's it. Okay, so in here I'm going to take the colors that are closer to each one of my water drops, and I'm going to put them inside of them upside down, and that's more or less the same thing for every one of them. Remember, I'm using my soft airbrush, so I'm not doing a lot of pressure over my iPad. Okay, so it runs like very smooth, and it doesn't trace like very hard lines. Okay, and also the shapes we were drawing in the beginning with a pure black color, those are just shapes for you to remember where are the limits, where are the boundaries of each water drop, so you more or less keep yourself inside the limits or over the limits, but not out of the limits. Okay, because this is how you can play a little bit with the shapes. Okay, so here, check it, the color of the grass, I'm putting it on the upper part of the water drop, and I'm going to take the darkest color that is coming from the upper part, and I'm going to put it in the lower part of the water drop, so everything is going to be the same. Okay, what is in the middle is in the middle, so what can we do? Okay, so more or less it's the same process we are going to repeat with each one of them. Okay, so in here I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to duplicate the same layer and I'm going to move it a little bit, and maybe uh, change the direction, just flipping my picture, and I'm going to deform these water drops so they don't look exactly the same. And another thing I'm going to do is to erase the ones that are on top of this streams, if you want to call them like them, because I suppose they shouldn't be there just like that, okay? Okay, so now what I'm doing is again, I'm going to continue using the same brush, the soft air brush, and I'm using a pure white color in order to create some light reflections inside each one of my water drops. Okay, and this is why these kind of tutorials are pretty long, and it's not because of the process. The process is pretty repetitive. Okay, it's something you have to keep on doing. Just draw the shape, uh, have the colors upside down inside the shape, create the pure light reflections. This is more or less the same you're going to keep on doing in this kind of illustrations, okay? But the thing is, maybe it could be shorter if we could just duplicate over and over the same shape. But just as I told you in the beginning, if you copy and paste the same shape again and again, it's gonna look like pretty not real, not believable. You know, you get me. You am I explaining myself? So the thing is, mostly create one by one each of these things, so they look kind of natural, okay? And another thing's gonna happen in a minute, and it's that those water drops by themselves, they feel like a little bit alone. So we're going to have them some happy friends, like Bob Ross used to say. And the thing is creating some other water drops, but much smaller. And for this, I'm not going to use any other color but white, just pure white. And what I'm doing is to trace some rounded shapes like circles, not precisely, I mean not perfect circles. And another thing, I'm not going to close these shapes, okay? I'm not going to complete the circle. What I'm just doing is just like to describe a kind of U shape, okay, with very soft edges. Because again, I'm going to return over each one of them and adding very, very small light reflections, very hard lights. Okay, so yeah, this is what we have to do again. And the thing is, it all depends on how realistic you want it, the amount of detail you add on the picture. Also, you could use some more Gaussian blur in order to make the shape of the water drops a little bit more vanished on the glass of the window. But this is just a matter of I wouldn't call it like style. I will call it like preference. How would you prefer your water drops to look like? I mean, you want them more comic style, you want more anime style, you want more realistic, you want them what's the name of this style that is that they are like pictures, like camera pictures. It all depends on how you want them. So the more detail you add, the more realistic it's gonna look. But the thing is to have an idea on how to do this. Okay, so yeah, this is something we have to do, and this is why it's gonna take you more or less, if you do it just like I'm doing it here, more or less 20 minutes, half an hour, doing the same thing over and over. But believe me, it's worth it. Okay, so over my picture, I'm going to add another layer of solid color, but don't be afraid, we are going to lower the opacity very much, like 20-21%. Okay, and it will give you kind of more depth to the picture. Okay, so we can appreciate, we can see the water drops a little bit more clearly. Okay, and also if I use how to call it, well, this layer, I hope you have seen the layer I used with pure black color. It turns the colors like darker. It doesn't change the color. Obviously, if the color is pretty dark, yes, it's gonna change to something that is almost black. But if you have a green or a red or orange, something like that, what is going to make it is to give you another value of the same color, a darker value. Okay, so I'm smudging again, and I think this is it. So I hope you like this tutorial. If so, please give me some thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, it supports me a lot, and I hope it helps you. Okay, I'm glad to see you here, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.